Sweet, you can share also. You got.
Yeah, I got the sharing right.
Right. And Dr. Sumi, this is for our personal use. It's only for the go-getters who have not yet got permission to share it on an online platform.
Okay.
Thank you.
So should we start or wait for another 2-3 minutes?
I think we can get started even as we send reminders to the others.
Yeah. Already 7:10.
Yeah.
We can start.
Let's get started.
Yeah, that will
Thank
get
you,
delayed.
guys. Great evening to all of us. Thank you once again for being present here. I think you can invite your buddies to join in the thing. So Dr. Sumit has been, persistent and insisting that he wants to do this particular topic, and also in a very fun way. So let's have fun this evening. Thank you, Dr. Sumit. And thank you, everybody.
Everybody is able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You can see.
Go
You're
ahead.
able to see. Oh, very good. Very good. So friends, very healthy good evening to all of you. And first of all, let me thank the LT team for having, given me this opportunity to share something very important at the same time in a very lighter vein. So I think you're going to like it. So friends, today I would like to pick up threads from a real story which happened with an incident which happened with a very great person. And you have to listen to this story very carefully because you have to guess that person. Okay. And this incident happened almost 90 years back in USA, when there was a times of racial discrimination during the apartheid time, where the blacks used to be considered as something of a minuscule part of the society. So this was an incident from that, and during the time when America was going through civil disobedience movement, which was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi himself. And it so happened that this gentleman, when he was a small boy, hardly 5-6 years old, he was watching some of the children play with gas balloons of different colors. They were buying this gas balloon from a vendor, and they were just letting it in the air and having fun. So balloons were of different colors: red, white, blue, orange. And this Negro boy just asked the vendor, "Sir, will the black balloon also go up the way the other balloons are going up?" Because, because of the low self-esteem and racial discrimination. So it seems then the vendor replied to this boy, "My sonny boy, it is not the color of the balloon which makes the balloon goes up. I think all of us know why it goes up, because of the helium gas inside." But he told the boy in a very nice way. He said, "It is not the color of the balloon which matters. It is what is inside the balloon what it matters." So friends, it is very pertinent to today's topic, the topic that attitude determines altitude, because attitude is what is within you. Do you agree with me? And can you guess who this person? And this statement inspired this boy so much, which made a tremendous difference in his life. And he is one of the great names remembered in the history of United States. Can anybody guess? I'll give you a prize from my side, Amazon voucher. Anybody guess? Jay, not you. You are
Abraham
not.
Lincoln.
No. One more guess.
One more guess.
आपके पास 3 लाइफलाइन बाकी है. हाय.
Martin Luther King.
No. Oh, Abraham sir, you said that?
Rajesh Kaunga.
Yeah, you're right. The person was none other than Martin Luther King Jr.
18764.
And most of you would have remembered his very inspiring speech which he gave. He gave a speech in 1963, which said, "I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream that people of America will not be judged by the color of the skin, but they'll be judged by the strength of their character." And this speech of Martin Luther King Jr. made a tremendous difference. And finally, the laws were passed to give equal rights to the blacks. So let us understand from cognitive psychology, what is attitude? Carl Gustav Jung, who was a direct disciple of Sigmund Freud, he says it is a readiness of the psychic to act or react in a certain way. Attitudes very often come in pairs, one conscious and the other subconscious or unconscious. The attitude of a person is determined by psychological factors like ideas, values, beliefs, perception. All these have a complex role in determining a person's attitude. So values are your guiding principles and ideals in your life. So let us understand today, friends, where is the attitude? How does it get maintained? What is the root cause? And how does it affect our lives? And how to change it if it is negative? And certain examples from corporate and history I shall give you. So where is the attitude? Swami Chinmayanandaji said, man is mind and mind is man. I think all of us agree with that. We are human beings. We are human beings because of the power God has given us, which is the mind. But unfortunately, we'll realize by the end of the talk that we are not utilizing the minds to its maximum capacity. That's why in the Gita, Lord Krishna says, Manaha evam manushyanam karanam bandham mokshayo. He says your mind has all the problems and it also has all the solutions in it. It depends where are you turning it. Are you turning it towards the Lord or are you turning it towards the devil? So if you turn it towards the Lord, you will get solutions. And if you turn it towards the devil, you will never get solutions in life. You will be like a caterpillar going round and round and round and only grumbling about things. Britishers used to accuse Indians that you guys are a bunch of crabs. Indians, you are a bunch of crabs. Tell me why, friends? Why did they used to tell Indians as a bunch of crabs? I'm sure those of you been to Kerala or any coast, you will find that people, when they fish the crab, they just take it and they put it in one kind of a small tub. It doesn't have any cover at all. There is no cover at all. Because every crab, what they put inside,
They'll
not
pull
a
each other
single
down.
crab will go out. Why? The other crabs will pull them down. They'll pull them down. So not a single crab can go out. The Britishers used to say, you guys will never progress in life. Why? Because you will never. बोलते ना हिंदी में, तुम भी ऊपर नहीं जाएगा, हम भी ऊपर नहीं जाएगा, दोनों ही मरेंगे. People used to write letters also like that. I am in the well. I hope you are also in the well. See, this is how people used to write letters earlier. So what I'm trying to tell you, that it is because of the crab mentality only India earlier had earned a bad name in the world. And of course, we are going to look in the subsequent slides, that is negative emotions, the blocks of the mind. I'm sure all of you agree that as we grow older, right from the time we are born, we develop blocks of the mind, which we'll understand. So first, very important thing we need to understand is understanding the mind, then transforming the mind, transcending the mind. Transcending the mind means going beyond the mind. Let us look at the root cause analysis of what is attitude. Let us look at cause number one. Cause number one, I call it as 3 E's: education, environment, and your experience. Do you agree with me, friends, that child is from a good school, from a good alumni of a good school or a good college, those values will remain with them throughout their life, isn't it? Do you agree with that? Throughout their life, that same values will remain. That's why the respect for the guru in our country is something different. The word guru itself is very beautiful. It means gukaro andhakara. The person who removes ignorance in your life is a guru. So guru is not a actually academic teacher. He actually looks into higher realms of a person, how to grow spiritually in life and how to look at things in a different way. If you have a good guru, you'll always have very, very positive attitudes in life. So that's why the famous doha of Kabir, Guru Gobind khade, kaakhe lagu pao, balihari guru apne, Gobind diyo bataye. So this is a tragedy of a devotee where Guru is also standing and Gobind, that is Lord, is also standing. Whose feet should I touch first? So see the humility of the Lord. Lord said, if the Guru is standing now, first you should touch the feet of the Guru. Why? Because he is the one who has taught you the meaning of life. So always touch the Guru's feet first, then mine. And even if you don't touch mine, it's already done because you have already respected the Guru. So Guru has always had a very, very high esteem in our country. Environment. Let us say a child is brought up in a very hostile environment where people are only fighting with each other, abusing each other. Don't you think he will pick up the same vocabulary? He will start saying, and that's why sometimes we do, some children start going to school, they pick up some bad vocabulary, and then we start beating them. But we need to look at Genesis from where it has come. Kahan se wo gali sikha hai? That's the thing. So instead of scolding them and beating them, just ignore them. If you ignore them, they will not say it again. Why? The more you tell them, don't do it, they will do more. I can prove it to you how your mind works. I'm asking Satish ji, don't think of Santa Claus. Now, what are you thinking?
All red. I'm sure it's all red.
Don't think of pink elephant. So like that, the more you say don't, the mind will focus more on them. And of course, your experience and your exposure. Sometimes in our life, we all have negative experience on a daily basis, isn't it? Once we have a negative experience, we tend to generalize. Let us say I go to Delhi and I have lost my purse in the metro. Then what do? I come back and say all Delhites are chores. Is it true? Is it true? I'm asking you. So this is what happens, friends. We develop negative attitudes in our life because of our education, environment, and experience. This is the cause number one. Cause number two, let us look at negative emotions within us. I'm sure all of us have learned this in school age. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Maya, Mada, Matsarya, Ahamkara, which means Kama means lust, Krodha means anger, Lobha means greed, Maya means illusion, Mada means arrogance, Matsarya means jealousy, Ahamkara means ego. Now, the word ego itself is a very beautiful word. E-G-O. Edging God out. Edging God out is ego. It is ego which comes in between God's grace and us. Whatever religion you belong to, ultimately, I'll prove it to you by the end of this talk that all religions are talking the same thing. There is no difference at all. The way I have been trained in Christianity, I have been trained in Buddhism, I have been trained in Jainism, I have been trained in Islam. And the best part of it, that I have concluded that all are telling the same thing, but in a different way. How you have understood it, that's the only interpretation is only very important. That's why you need a guru in life. You cannot, be successful in life unless until you have a mentor in your life. So we have to also be aware of positive emotions. Mute yourself. So let's look at the positive emotions or attributes, which is Shanti, Prema, Dharma, Ahimsa, Karuna, Vairagya, Viveka. These are the positive emotions or attributes within us. So all of us have to aspire to develop these things in life. That is the concept of spirituality. From Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Maya, these are devilish attributes, to godly attributes, which is Shanti, Prema, Dharma. Even one, if you develop, you will become God. That's what my Guruji used to tell me. Cause number three is hormonal. We have different types of hormones within us. The brain secretes various hormones. But here I want to bring it to your notice, two hormones which are very important. Serotonin, which are happy hormones, and melatonin, which is hormones for creating any kind of a depression or a low self-esteem within you. Whatever you eat, whatever company you keep, what is your spiritual practices depends on that. That is how you develop. So when will you be happy? When you meditate, you will be happy. When you do yoga, you will be happy. When you have bhajans, you will be happy. When you go to the church, you will be happy. So that's what happens, friends. So serotonin. So this is all these practices in religions have been done with a deeper aspect that you develop good hormones within you. Then there are cognitive reasons also, right? From childbirth also there can be certain things. Then we call it endothermic and exothermic. Endothermic means something which is internally within you, and exothermic is due to some external reason. And last but not the least is also your culture. Culture means your society, your language, your caste, your religion. So many things make a difference, and that's how we develop our attitudes in life. Let's look at other reasons. Negative self-talk. Friends, do you agree with me that most of the time we are talking negative to ourselves? We may not talk negative physically, Physically, we may not talk, but internally in our mind, in Sanskrit, this is called as vak alambanam. Vak alambanam. Vak alambanam means that you are talking to yourself all the time and you are actually giving negative suggestions to yourself. Example, oh, I don't think so I'll be a successful person. I don't think so I will succeed in business. I don't think so I'll make ever money in my life. I don't think so I'm a useless fellow. मैं ऐसा ही हूँ, मैं ऐसा क्यों हूँ? That is how people actually talk to them. And that's why, please understand that your negative self-talk is more dangerous than your external talk, because your subconscious mind, anything you do more than 3 times, the subconscious will believe it. If you say, now this we are going to cover it in a nice story little later, where I'm going to tell you by way of story that how these things make a tremendous difference in our life. Bad company, keeping company with people who are actually not useful to you. So a lot of people get into especially the teenagers, when they come to me, they get into a kind of an argument with me. They say, sir, what is bad? Can you please define what is bad? And sir, can you define what is good? I only tell them one thing. Bad is what is not going to be helpful to you or to others. Good is what is going to be helpful to you and it's going to be helpful to others also. You decide what you want to do. God has given us a choice and a chance. Now, that's the challenge God has given us in life, that what you want to do, it's your choice. He's not forcing it. Even in Gita, Bhagavan told Arjuna, see, you want to fight the war, you fight the war. You want to go back home, also go back. You decide money. He never used to force Arjuna to do anything. Please understand that, friends. So always he's given them a choice. Life is always a choice. It is this way or this way. It's a negative way or the positive. You have to choose. Now that will come out very well in the rest of the slides. No discipline in life. Do you agree, friends? Especially our young generation, there is not any discipline in life. In fact, I am saying this, I know, and I'm sure all of you will agree, that our grandfathers or maybe our fathers were much more healthier than us also. Why? Because they had a very good discipline in their life. My grandfather died at the age of 87. 87, because he used to every day go for long walks. He used to eat absolutely vegetarian food, no good habits, I would say, no drinking, no smoking. And he used to always be busy in his prayers. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So discipline in life, yoga has given a lot of solutions for us. Hatha yoga for your physical body, pranayama for your emotional body, dhyana yoga for your mental body, bhakti yoga for your spiritual body, karma yoga for your financial body. And last but not the least, jnana yoga, that is where jnana comes, is for your anandamaya kosha. The higher wisdom you get only by reading. So friends, very important things, especially our kids and growing up children, they must get into reading habits. Because of mobile and internet, our reading habits have been extremely spoiled, including mine. I'm always behind with 4 or 5 books, and I always crib. I love to go by train, because in train we'll get some time to read the books. Plane 1 hour you will get, and then you are in another airport. No reading habits. Conceit. Conceit is what? Nanalla gotu, nanalla teriyan. I know everything. I know what God knows. I also know what God must know. I also know what God must know. Have you seen such people who have this kind of an attitude? Please raise your hands. Please raise your hands if you have met any kind of people like this. When I conduct workshops, especially for IT companies earlier, I used to tell this dialogue. If any one of you have that kind of a feeling or attitude, please go and leave this room right away. Because when your cup is so full, what do I pour inside? You come with a full cup. What do I put inside? So that's what you need to understand, friends. When people have conceit, it is very difficult to deal with them. Then something very funny. Most people suffer from Ayyo syndrome. What is Ayyo syndrome? They get up in the morning and they say, Ayyo, it is morning. Then they have breakfast, Ayyo, same breakfast. Now please unmute yourself, all of you. We'll have some fun. Okay, unmute yourself, no problem. Then they go to the office and they say, Ayyo, same office, same colleagues, Ayyo, same boss. Come back home.
सर बहुत डेंजर जोन में जा रहे हैं आप इसलिए दरवाजा बंद कर दिया
Sir, I never said anything. Rest of the
closed the
meaning you
door.
are taking out.
Your mind, Rajesh.
See, I wanted you to be aware of your mind. Did I say anything? But you understood it. What matter? Now, the same statement, friends, I made in one of the complete, I mean, I'll complete that joke. So when you come back home, ma'am, forgive me for this, just we are having fun. Come back home
Why
and
should
this.
I forgive you unless you have the intention of saying something?
That's clear. I know I can't defeat you. I accept you as my guru, no problem. So what I was telling you, they come back home and they say, "Ayo, same bike." So what happened is that I was addressing one all women crowd, all women. But can you imagine, friends?
Friends, please unmute, mute yourself if there is background noise.
Yeah, there is a background noise.
Yeah, thank you. Continue.
So I was addressing once a women group, a women welfare group, 65 women, man, 65 women, and I alone there. Such a dangerous situation. That was a dangerous situation. And then the same thing I said, we come back home and they said, same wife, one of them got up and said, sir, what are you talking? Same husband also.
Mhm.
You see? So that's what most people suffer from IO syndrome. Then let us understand what is Tathastu effect. Tathastu, I'm sure some of you may know about it. You know, our gods and goddesses, especially the Hindu god and goddesses, they have a little weight problem. And because Minali Joshi has not yet started her division in heaven, so the husband and wife, they have habit of walking through the day, morning, afternoon, evening. They walk, they catch their hand, and they go out for a walk. And they don't have much of internet and other OTT platforms to disturb them. So what they do, they keep on listening to what you're saying. Whatever you're saying, they keep on listening to you. If you say, oh, I'm a useless fellow, I don't think so I'm going to be successful, I don't think so my business will succeed, I'll always be in problem, ayo, again, if you say, what they will say? Tathastu, so be it, amen, amen. See, all the religions say the same thing in a different way. So please understand, friends, that we have to be very careful of Tathastu effect, because anything you say more than 3 times, the subconscious will believe it and the superconscious will execute it. Please understand that. Low self-esteem. Most people have a low self-esteem about themselves. They don't feel good about themselves. So how does the attitude is a magnet? How does it affect us? It affects our personal life. It affects our family life. It affects our married life. It affects our career, corporate life, and our entire financial status. A lot of people, they say, oh, I never make money. And even if I make money, I lose money very fast. I don't know why. So that is where, if you really go, Jayashree will agree with me, when we go deeper, you are training the CXOs and CEOs, they must be complaining these things to you. And whatever money they earn, they are never satisfied with. Deeper part of it, if you look at it, they don't have a correct attitude to life. Once money comes, they'll blow it up in the best of the cars and best of the things, as if there's no tomorrow, that kind of a thing. Now, a lot of you may be asking this question, or maybe having a thought that, can attitude be measured? I say yes. Attitude can be measured. By what? Let us say if there are 2-3 techniques I'll teach you here. Yes, by an objective questions with 3 or 4 options and give a total score. Like, I'll give you an example. All of us are business people. So if we give, let us say, if you lose a business, what will you do? Option number 1, badmouth the company everywhere. Option number 2, analyze your mistakes. Option number 3, study your competition strength and why they got the order. And last but not the least, blame everyone else. So here what you do, give marks for every answer. Let us say first one, badmouth of the company. So here you give example, 2 marks. Similarly, analyze your mistake, give 5 marks. Give study your own competitor strength, 6 marks. Last, blame everyone else. So in this, the highest score will tell you that you are having a positive attitude, and if the score is low, you are having a negative attitude. So this thing, you can create it on your own also, and it comes in Times of India and Bangalore Times. If you see, sometimes we get those questionnaires with options, and they tell you to solve it, and the answers are given opposite, so that it's fun to solve those things. And this is the way you can create your own questionnaire, and you can check it out with your own staff members and your colleagues. Of course, there are very good psychometric tools nowadays available. These are online, and generally companies to recruit people, they use the psychometric tools, which are primarily to check the skills, the aptitude, and the personality of a person, whether they are type A, type B type of personalities. You can just Google by putting psychometric tests, and you can get online ones. Some of them are free and some of them are paid for also. Something very interesting I want to bring it to the notice of my friends. Some of you may not know about it. Is a latest cognitive tool has come. I discussed with Jayshree ma'am some few months back when we had one-to-one, where it seems it is based on Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. Howard Gardner says he challenged the earlier thought process in psychology, that he says that human beings have 8 intelligences, which is logical, linguistic, interpersonal, musical, visual, spatial, kinesthetic, and naturalist. So like that, he divided the intelligence into 8 parts. Now, the beauty is that this test can be taken online by a child, especially if they are just crossing 8 to 10, they are about to go to school or maybe college or higher education. So which is their strength? Are they strong in logical? That means more scientific, so they can go into science. Are they more linguistic? They can go into art. Are they more musical? They can go into that. See, we have all seen the movie Three Idiots, right? In Three Idiots, if you saw the difference between the 3 people, one guy was logical, mathematical. Fung Suk Wangdu was his name, if I correctly remember. So he excelled. For him, IIT was the cakewalk for him. But for others, they were struggling, and one fellow even tried to commit suicide because for him, he was more of, I should say, a naturalist, and he wanted to get into art and other kind of things. So now, why to wait for that situation to happen? If you take this test online, it costs you about approximately 3,000 rupees. But it's a 100-page report, friends. 100-page report of your child will come, or yourself also. Forget about your child, your whole staff can, and then you come to know in which department we should face. Let us say HR people, it's a very good tool because HR can decide where I should put him. Should I put him in marketing, or should I put him in admin, or should I put him in technical, or that's the way, because this is how the report will come. Intellect, obsessive, social, answer. Here also, one of the options is given is attitude. And is the person tactful? Is he tactful? Is he diplomatic in handling things? Similarly, is a person very emotional? And how is his planning? And does he have patience? So like that, with 99.8% accuracy, friends, we can decode a person's psychic completely. Similarly, there's another tool, some of you would have heard of it. It is called DMIT. DMIT means Dermatographics Multiple Intelligence Test, where you have to put your hand, or the child has to put a hand on one scanner kind of a thing, and when they put the scanner, it will scan your lines on the hand, and everybody has unique lines on their hand, and it will also give instantly a report about what is the character, what they should do, what is their strengths. I mean, it's a complete SWOT analysis of a person. Anybody needs any guidance or help or connection, please contact me. Just WhatsApp me. I'll put you on to 2-3 people whom I know who do this very effectively in Bangalore, DMIT test, as well as the cognitive analysis test, so that, where you can decide in advance what is the kind of their strengths, in which subject they are more strong, especially for children, it is very, very helpful. So how does one change? How does one change their attitude? Become aware, do SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis? Become aware of your strengths, become aware of your weaknesses, become aware of your opportunities, and also become aware of your threats. So idea is what? Strengthen your strengths, weaken your weaknesses, be alert to opportunities so that you reduce threats in life. That's how, if you do which is nothing, SWOT analysis is a modern word in management, but in yoga, it is called as pratyahara. When you do pratyahara, you're doing introspection. What am I good at and what am I not good at it? Please understand that. We have to be aware of whatever we are. If we have strengths, you work on your strengths. You're starting a business. You want to do something new. You want to start a career. Focus on your strengths. Be aware of your weakness. Don't start talking about your weakness everywhere, because there are some cunning people also waiting to find which is your weak area, because all of us have Achilles heel, I'm sure you heard that Greek story of the Trojan War hero called Achilles. His mother, it seems, took him when he was a very small child. Something like what happened with Duryodhan, the same thing is his mother gave him that thing where his whole body became almost like an iron. But Krishna was clever and he made him cover with a leaf, So because of that, he did not get strength in his hips area. So that's how he lost against Bhim. But the same thing, his Achilles' mother took, her name was Styx. So she took him to one river, magical river, and put him with, catching his heels, put him into the water and took him out. He was so strong, it was impossible to defeat him. But then his heel was a weak point and the enemies came to know about it. And that's how Achilles died. So friends, remember one thing, nobody can be a Bahubali. If anybody is having strengths also, they will have weaknesses also. This is how God has made us. So we need to be aware of everything. We need to be aware of our strengths, and more than strengths, we should be aware of our weaknesses also. So read good books, see good TV programs, educative movies, meditate, yoga, meet good people. You can learn something. See, that is why, friends, we have a wonderful platform of BNI with us. Every day we meet new people. Now, if not personally, we have the Zoom here. We meet people. Don't you think every day we are learning something from others? Forget about our teaching today. It's also we learn. Like I'm telling you, friends, I although come from a training background, but still I should say every day in BNI I am learning something. We have so much, and which we learned it in one of the programs, that so much of wealth of information is available by various people, so that it will be benefit all of us, and with a positive attitude that everybody should benefit. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Positive affirmations and visualization, which we are going to see in the next slide. Now I'm going to teach you some few techniques.
Dr. Sumit, so it's around 20 minutes of your this one, and then question answer. So can you?
I'll finish in next 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay, good. Yeah. Thank you.
So let us look how to change the attitude. So quickly I will turn. Rename. What do you mean by rename? If suppose some children complain, my mother is always scolding me. So can you rename it? Can you say my mother is always guiding me, correcting me? That is called renaming. Reframing means from your point of view, from the other person's point of view, and also from the neutral point of view. So you have candy moments, like from a different frame of perception, that from, are you looking from this side or are you looking from this side? You look at a Eiffel Tower from the top in a helicopter, it will look so small. You stand down, it will look so tall. So it's a different frames of perception. The mind has different frames of perception. Retrain, it's very, very important. Practice, practice, practice makes a man perfect. Example of a wild horse. Wild horse, it has to be made to practice. So then that's how the wild horse becomes a tamed horse. Similarly, 1 or 2 techniques I'll teach you here. SW, SW, SW. What is SW, SW, SW? Some things will happen. Some things won't happen. Some things will be in waiting. So what? You go for a business. The business gets finalized. Deal gets finalized. You get the check. Some things will happen. You come out. You don't get the business. Some things won't happen. How do you know? Something bigger business may be waiting for you. Either way. So what? So if your whole life is so what, so what, so what, you will never get upset, because Bhagwan kehte hain, whatever has happened is for your good. What is happening is also for your good. What is going to happen is also for your good. Keep that positive attitude positively in your mind, and then, friends, you will never be depressed in your life. Always you will be full of serotonin only, no melatonin in your life. Think opposite. Sometimes we get, thought process ki, yaar, aisa ho jayega. Let's say you are going for a long drive. You're going for a long drive. What is the first thought which may come? Rajesh, can I ask you this question? If you're going for a long drive, what is maybe a negative thought comes in your mind?
या कहीं ट्रैफिक तो नहीं मिलेगा हाईवे पे.
ट्रैफिक नहीं मिलेगा, टायर पंचर हो जाता है, कहीं एक्सीडेंट नहीं हो जाए. These are the kind of negative. Mind is always negative, friends. It's a cheat basically. So what do you do? Just think opposite of it. Pratipaksha bhavana is what we say. Just think opposite of it. When you think opposite of it, it will not happen. Similarly, if you get negative thought in your mind, you say, just say cancel, 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 cancel. That thought will get cancelled. Similarly, now, can all of you repeat after me? I wanted to teach you this thing. Let's say a positive statement. Day by day, repeat after me.
Day by day.
Day by day.
In every way.
In every way,
way,
I am becoming
I am becoming
I am becoming
healthier,
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 wealthier,
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 wiser,
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 loving,
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 humble,
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 patient,
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 positive,
positive,
and enlightened.
and
And
enlightened.
enlightened.
So if you look at this statement, it has got everything. It is for your physical body, healthier, wealthier for your financial body, wiser for your wisdom body, loving, very important. Love what? Not your neighbor's wife. Okay. Loving what? Love what you do. Do what you love. Very, very important. And be humble in life, isn't it? Sidhuji, you'll agree. If you are not humble,
Absolutely.
you will tumble and then you will grumble. Isn't it? So
Very
it's
true.
very important to be in life, to be humble and patient and positive. And if your mind chatters a lot, chatters, mind is always chattering, isn't it? So Kabir said, चलती चक्की देख के दिया कबीरा रोए दो पाठन के बीच में साबत बचाना because all the time your mind is pata pata pata, it's like a chakki. So just look up and say shut up mind, and immediately the mind will shut up. Practice these techniques, friends. These are very, very powerful NLP technique. This is the way you can transform your mind. First understand the mind, transform the mind, and then transcend the mind. Then you start looking at things in a totally different way, friends. So let's look at this, the last slide, examples in history and corporate. Martin Luther King, which we said the example. Somebody said Abraham Lincoln. We have one Abraham in our chapter also. So Abraham Lincoln was one guy who used to wish everybody who used to come into the White House. And he used to say, his secretary used to say, sir, you are the president of America. Why should you wish anybody? Everybody should wish you. You know what he used to say? He said, I don't want anybody to be more courteous than me. So that's why I'll wish everybody. So see the humility of this man. And today he is still remembered after 200 years. Mahatma Gandhi, Shivaji, Bajirao, Rana Pratap. Sidhuji followed my suggestion of seeing Shivaji program on, I think on Sony Live, or which did you see, sir? One of the...
I think
MX,
it was a good
player.
one. Actually, I'm not able to get that. It's a beautiful series.
Yeah. So don't you think it's making a tremendous difference with your kids also? Like they are liking it?
It has made huge impact. After watching that, you won't believe I have spent 1,600 rupees on buying books written by different people on Shivaji.
Very good, sir. Very good. Excellent. See, this is
It's
how
an amazing
suggestion matters. This is how suggestion matters. And that's why, see, friends, we are all actually educated in the English way of, education. We have actually don't know our culture so well. I learned our culture from 1998 onwards, when I realized that how little I know about our own country. And I was ashamed that the foreigners know more about us rather than we knowing about ourselves. You agree with this statement? Similarly, Roger Bannister, the guy who broke the first mile fastest, and although he was a handicapped person, he had only one leg, friends. Still, he won the fastest mile. He did it in less than 4 minutes. Afterwards, a lot of people beat that record. That's a different thing. Nelson Mandela, Roger Bannister, Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill is a very beautiful example. Once I open up for questions, I will tell you that story also. You must listen to this story of Winston Churchill. Why? Because this guy was a kind of a persistent failure in his life, because he had a very low self-esteem about himself. And he failed in school, in colleges, got married, he got divorced, he stood for elections, got defeated 4 times. And then finally he won an election and he became the Prime Minister of England. Friends, we won the World War because of Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, London was being bombed by Germany by those V2 rockets. That technology was so superior. These guys did not have a radar system at that time to locate those kind of rockets. Another 1 week would have gone, friends. The whole London would have been destroyed and we would have lost the World War II. But you know what? And it was in night time because, the V2 rockets were shot in the night time because radar could not track it, the radar with the Britishers. So what Winston Churchill played a trick on Hitler. He said, I dare the Germans to bomb during the daytime. And then Hitler said, hey, apun ko bolta hai ki aapne idhar ka munna bhai hai, abhi tumko dikhata hai. So that guy went with started bombing London during the daytime. And I'm sure you would have watched this movie, The Battle of Britain. If it is not seen, please see it in YouTube. It is there, Battle of Britain, where more than 8,000 RAF planes fought as if there is no tomorrow, and they shot down the complete air force of Germany. And that's how the war was won. Dhirubhai Ambani, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Narayan. So these are the people who succeeded in spite of problems and not in the absence of a problem, only because, friends, they had a positive attitude. So friends, attitude is the only word in English dictionary. If A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C is equal to 3, D is equal to 4, you put it in attitude, it will come to 100%. It's the only word in the Webster dictionary where you get 100%. So attitude is so important in life. So change in attitude will give you altitude and magnitude in life. So learn this with gratitude, otherwise you'll always be in solitude. So now, friends, I open up for questions. Now you can unmute yourself. I hope you enjoyed, friends.
Yes.
Sumit, any talk from you is enjoyable.
Sorry?
Any talk from you any day on any subject is enjoyable.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sumitji, my only question is, you had put the list of successful people. My objection is Narendra Modi.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it in advance. So I put it deliberately for you.
Oh God.
Because you have to practice NLP then, right? Change your language.
Good.
See, it's very important to understand, jokes apart. See, every rose has got a beauty of its own, isn't it? And rose also comes with a thorn. So where are you focusing? Are you focusing on the rose or are you focusing on the thorns? And here I will tell you a story of one of the first billionaires in the United States. I forget his name. Just help me to recollect this. He was a very famous guy. And he was owner of steel mines and gold mines and other things. And it seems he was once interviewed by the press, and they said, "Sir, what is the reason of your success? How come you are a so rich person in a very short time?" He said, "The reason of my success is that when I deal with people, I'm like a gold digger. So when I go and dig gold, when a gold digger goes to look for gold, he looks for gold only. He doesn't look at the sand or the mud around it. You understand that? So I only focus on the goodness within people. I don't look at them."
Nagarjun has the answer.
Yeah, let him tell that. Nagarjun, you can unmute yourself.
Andrew Carnegie.
Andrew Carnegie. Very good, sir. Yeah, that's the right answer. A lot of people say Dale Carnegie, but Dale Carnegie was the author. Andrew Carnegie was one of the first billionaires in the world, and he became billionaire because of his super positive attitude of dealing with people. He says, see, everybody has good points and all of us have bad points. In any association you look at. Now, where are you focusing? Are you looking at that? यार वो आदमी बहुत बात करता है, यार वो आदमी अच्छा ड्रेस नहीं करता, वो आदमी बकवास करता है, वो आदमी दारू पीता है. So what's your problem here? But वो आदमी is so talented and he's got so much of other things. You look at that, no? So that is where also your attitude comes. So start focusing on strengths of people. Ignore their thorns. That is how you'll end up building relationship with people. Same thing will happen with you. You also have your weaknesses. No, if you find faults with people, people will also start finding fault with you next day. So respect somebody's these things, or just keep quiet. If you can't praise anybody, just keep your mouth shut. So it's simple. Isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe say, shut up, mind.
Shut up, mind. Exactly. Good. So you are learning techniques. Good. Other questions, please.
Sumiji, I remembered the episode, you were telling me it's in MX Player.
MX Player.
Yeah, it's a wonderful series. Please watch it, guys. You will understand an amazing, way it has been done. No, it's amazing, actually.
And friends, it was released. It was released in 2012.
Yeah, 2011 or 12, yes.
It was released, but it was stopped by Shiv Sena. They said we will burn that channel itself where the office is, because they say some of the things shown in that is not correct about Shivaji. You look at a positive way, how much it is making a difference in people's life, and that the actor has done such a good role. Like almost, I felt that it is really the Shivaji. You know, that's Dr. Kote, who is
Yeah.
also
Both the roles, as a young child and as a grown-up
Both.
Shivaji, both amazingly, acted. They're beautiful movies.
Similarly, Chandragupta Maurya is there, Ashoka is there, Porus is there, Bajirao is there. You know, children should see all these programs because TV makes a tremendous difference in their attitude and this. Because how much ever we tell as parents, we have done our best to tell them. Then at one point they have to learn on their own, and they can learn best from the movies. That's why we need to censor certain things what they see, and once they start getting interested in this, you know, that's what is our aim. Our aim should be that only. Yeah. Next question, friends.
Anybody else with any other suggestion or add on to this topic? Something
So I think
that
it is true for all of us, right? At all times, to be able to absorb everything around us, but keep only those things, internalize only those things where you see value. Baki ko expose them back.
right.
That's
And
very important.
is there any technique that you use, Rajesh? There are so many lovely ways to actually do it, right? So is there anything you want to share?
Like Sumit ji said, I listen to everybody. I don't reject any ideas because you never know where you can learn from. But if somebody is talking negative about somebody or a situation, just analyze it from your point of view. If you feel that it's not adding value to you, just ignore it. You don't have to tell that person that, hey, you are wrong and get into an argument. Just ignore it, let it fly. Ek kaan se ghusao, dusre kaan se nikalo.
100% right.
Another beautiful thing is it could just be giving us another perspective.
You never know.
It's
So
not opened
listen,
up at all, right?
absolutely. Listen, put yourself in the other person's shoes, but always take the final decision yourself.
Here I'll tell you something very interesting. A lot of people say you must always think positive, always think positive. You know, friends, even negative thinking is also positive.
Yeah.
You know how? See, now in Six Sigma, we use one technique which is called as, it's called opportunity for errors, OFE. Opportunity for errors means that what can go wrong? Kya ho sakta hai? What galat can happen? So we don't say that always you don't know swimming and you're jumping in the water, that is madness. Now you say, no, I'm very positive, I'll jump in the water, nothing will happen to me. So that is not this thing, it is madness if you do that. You know. But
there's a very famous story of Ivan Meisner on the very same thing. Realized that it is exactly the same strategy. He was standing outside this this bookstore and did not know if his book was there inside, but then somebody had suggested that he goes and does these autographs on books so that his books sell more. But he was very hesitant to step into the store to check out if his book was there. And then he just asked himself one question, you know, like, okay, so what if I do not step in? Well, if I don't step in and if there's no book, the position is going to be the same. But what if I step in and he accepts? So there's a possibility of the book to be there, right? So, and he just stepped in and he was welcomed and received so well that he got his books, sold out of that shop in the next few months. I'm just reminded of that because that exactly is the same application of your Six Sigma, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, lovely. Anybody else wanting to add on? Ram Shankar, I can see you're intently listening. Anything that you want to add? You're doing a lot, right, in your field now, especially.
Yeah, it was very interesting, actually. I am stunned with this talk, muted. It was very nice. Yeah.
And yeah, because somebody who's innovating for, educational toys, you must, and while you're doing your research, there must be a lot of things that are coming up your way, which are very new. And
yes, sir, Dr. Sumit.
Yeah. Is
so
there anything
now elders tell, if you study Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana, I think that is a good guru or whatever be in the life. Is that right? Any comments on that?
Rajendra, you see, just reading is not enough, Othi padi padi jagmuha, pandit bayana koi, dahi akshar prem ka, pade se pandit hoye. Kabir says that just reading books after books after books, you are not going to become pandit. But dahi akshar prem ka, 2.5 letter word of love, if you cultivate in your life, pade se pandit hoye, you'll be bigger than the pandit. So here I want to advise you, it's not just reading. because these are all very difficult texts. It is not so easy to understand. You need a guru in your life to interpret these things. That's why I told you last time on all the meetings.
Kindle the love, right, Dr. Sumit? So an appropriate line for Valentine's Day.
Yes,
It's
yes,
fast
definitely.
coming. Guys, do come up with a few ideas on how to make this Valentine's Day meeting quite special. If you can come up with some thoughts, please post them to me. Let's
Yes,
see.
that day
Yeah.
is also my wedding anniversary.
Wow,
Yes, I
lovely.
remember you telling us this last year.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
And in fact, ours is a love marriage. I'm from North and she's from Tamil Nadu. So ours is a love marriage. We met also on 14th February. We got married also on 14th February. So people say, यार तुम लोग सुबह मिलके शाम को शादी कर लिया इतना जल्दी, so fast.
Blessed by Saint Valentine, who actually got marriages in place, I guess.
That is true. So
Right.
that's the thing. And unfortunately, we are both in the same direction. So, can say that the best beneficiary is the family when both the parents are in the spiritual line, or, so we have taught our son. I have one son, so we have taught him everything about this thing. So he is also in the same direction as ours, that's very important.
Ram Shankarji, you were about to add something when, Rajendranath brought in Mahabharata.
No, I was just thinking about a takeaway.
Uh-huh.
Not only
Yes.
studying, what is the takeaway? What is it? What we are going to take from that? Reading those things,
In those books.
reading those books. Yeah,
Yeah,
the takeaway matters.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it keeps changing with our
Yes.
needs, at that particular point of time, our state of evolution, our desire, that also changes the takeaways that we have each time. Maybe
And every
that's
time
why
you
ever
read
be-
Bhagavatam or Mahabharata, the meaning will be different because based on your age and maturity, the understandings are different. It's not the same. You read Mahabharata at the age of 20.
Anything from your latest travel that you wish to add on attitude? Satish ji, can you hear us? Anything from your latest travel that you took away on attitude?
Yes, this time I tried to travel in Air India. In fact, last Tuesday, I took the Air India flight to Delhi. I could see the real change in the attitude of the employees of Air India. These could be two possibilities.
Okay.
It could be two possibilities. One could be the fear of losing the job. The other could be the real change in the attitude of the person. Their behavior is totally changed. That was the real, it was shocking to me in the Air India flight.
Wow.
This is what Ratan Tata promised the day they took over. No, this was the
exactly.
first promise he made.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
This is what he said when he took over the company. He said that we
Yes.
want to definitely give back what it was, promised earlier.
No, it is very simple. Government has told 1 year you are not supposed to disturb the employees. After that, if they don't change the attitude, what will happen? They will get the pink slip. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, but Satish,
Looks like a lot of changes happened.
I also believe in the goodness of people when they are exposed to the right environment, which means, yes, but fear can drive you only so much. It cannot drive you beyond. What can drive you is belief. The way the Tatas have built themselves over so many years or over a century is you kind of blindly start trusting any product or services that they bring out. It's just become part of our blood. अच्छा टाटा का है तो मतलब problem नहीं आएगा, अच्छा ही रहेगा. And we start trusting them so much. टाटा का मतलब ज़्यादा खराब नहीं होगा. Among the lot, we are kind of the more trusted. So that could also be driving these. I mean, to your point.
Rajesh, I differ in this particular thing. I've been dealing with the government from past 20 years. I have seen the attitude of the employees of the government organization at the same time the private organization. The security, that matters a lot. In the government organizations, whether they do the work, whether they don't do the work, they get the salary, they get the pension, they are sure of their life. But it doesn't happen in the private organizations.
Well, like Sumit ji said, different perspectives, listen, understand and learn from each perspective.
Yeah.
That's exactly the day the security is taken off, everybody will come to the straight line.
Yeah. Because fear definitely does inspire. But of course, once you lose the fear, it's gone. Carrots also inspire, but I think the only thing that really lasts is love.
Yeah.
When you love something, it's always there, and you're so consistent about the entire thing.
But even in the government organization, if you just walk into some few of the government offices, you can notice in one corner, maybe one table or two table is always filled with the files. Because those two employees will be working like a donkeys from morning to evening. All others will be enjoying, they'll be having a cup of tea in the canteen, or they'll be roaming around inside the office. They'll be roaming around. These two people will be working like donkeys.
I think using Dr. Sumit's words, maybe they are not calling themselves donkeys, but they're saying, I'm enjoying going through the files. While
Possible.
the other guys,
Possible.
yeah.
Probably I should introduce Dr. Sumit to those donkeys.
they'll become derby horses, guaranteed. मार के सीधा करेंगे. See, everybody doesn't understand the straight way. You can say spare the rod and spoil the child. किसी को डंडे, that's why they say in Vedas, no, साम दाम दंड भेद. साम मतलब समझाना, दाम मतलब exchange जो भी है, under the table, दाम, भेद, you have to do certain things cunningly. Sam, काम, the भेद. And so let's say all, you have to use different strokes for different folks is what NLP says. One single strategy may not work for everybody. And that is where we are learning, friends. Every time we are meeting a new customer, a new company, a new person to deal with, is it not a challenge? And then we have to align. See, life is like a, it's alignment. And every time we meet somebody new, it takes time for alignment. But then you have to work with a positive attitude and make it as a win-win situation. I told this thing earlier also. Win-win is already discussed 5,000 years back in Gita, where our Lord says to Arjuna, Parasparamavaya bhaviyanta shreya paramavapyata. He says, Arjuna, whatever you do it with an attitude of win-win. Win-win means nurture. Nurture means shreya. Shreya means nurture in Sanskrit. Nurture each other, help each other. What are we doing in BNI? We are nurturing each other. We are all experts in our own domain. But how do we align each other? Technically speaking, Mr. Murthy and me have nothing to do with each other.
I was about to invite Murthy for a few words, and you just.
Yeah. I was inviting him, and that's why I picked him
Let's
up.
hear it from you too, Murthy.
Yeah, Murthy sir, how has positive attitude helped you in your life as such?
Yeah, always whenever, it's kind of a refresher for me, whatever the session you did. I think it was really wonderful. It's been quite a long time listening to such wonderful presentation, actually. See, always, I think most of people who know me, I always interact with people and look at only the positive side. So that is why I'm, well-versed, but I'm good with everyone. So you can say that way. I don't have any enemies. For that matter.
See, that's what happens.
See,
that's what happens when you are humble. You'll not tumble and you'll not grumble. It's very important. So people start liking you as a person. See, the most important thing we have to, like Naveen sir is here, we have to build our own brand. We can't build our brand with ego and arrogance. We can only build it with love and also with respect to others. You give respect, you get respect. You talk nicely to somebody, other person will also talk nicely to. You will say, Gotila nano yaro, he'll also say, Gotila nano yaro. You got my point, I was like that, friends. I was like that. I was a person with lot of conceit, lot of arrogance, and lot of ego in 1996. Then I realized that this is a lose situation. It's not going to benefit anybody. I used to talk to people. I say, whatever you want to do, you do. And, I used to pick up quarrels for people for nothing. Jabki all was here. What transformed me was a lecture by Swami Chidananda ji in Bombay in 1996, who gave a beautiful lecture on Vedic principles in management. Then I realized that in spite of me being an MBA from one of the best universities in the world, how little I know about management. Whereas the concepts of management have been discussed in this country for last 8,000 years. Jayashree ma'am is teaching that to the corporate, and I'm also doing the same thing. So friends, do not underestimate our country in any way. All these principles have already been discussed. but we have to be aware of it and implement it in our company. And very important to follow these principles in our life. Just talking about principle is not
Lovely.
enough.
Actually, great to see Candy here. Some candid moments. So what's your share, Candy?
Candy sir, we mentioned
Once again,
about
an
you.
amazing in the backdrop.
I entered late actually.
Yeah, late, but then did
Not
you
late,
catch?
korcho korcho late.
Yeah. I can.
Did you catch the
I
spirit?
got the crux of the things. Yeah.
So it's your perception, different candy moments of your life.
Yes,
Sumiti, I will need to leave, but I loved this session. I really loved it. Lot to learn. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'll just end with a
Thank you
joke.
so much,
If all of you are
Dr.
ready,
Sumit.
I'll end with a joke.
Sure.
So, most of the people don't know what they are doing. Again, bad attitude, good attitude, I don't know what. So it seems Santa Singh was driving a very fast train, Shatabdi train. He was a driver of the train. And suddenly in the middle of the jungle, he stopped the train and, when the train gets stopped, what happens, And the TT who was there, the people who are there, they came for inspection and they say, hey, what happened? Why did you stop the train in the middle of the jungle? And how is it gone out of the track? How have you taken it out of the track? He said, sir, what to do? Driving the train, somebody was standing in the middle of the track. He was doing yoga meditation. I don't know what he was doing, but he was in the middle of the track. So that's why this accident happened. And that's why it went off track. But he says, if you have one person only, then you should have run over him. No? He said, that's exactly what I was trying to do. But this guy was running towards the jungle.
So he took the train in that direction.
Oh,
Many more to come. I mean, time is short. That's why. Otherwise, once we meet physically, I
Thank
think
you
there's
so
a
much.
lot of things.
Thank you very
Wonderful, sir.
much.
So friends, thank you for
Dr.
joining.
Sumit
Thank you
ji.
for my request and all
It
the
was
best.
really good, Dr. Sumit.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Satish. Thank you, Sidhu. Have a great evening. The
Thank you.
weather
Thank
is
you.
left, and we'll quickly plan the next Learn and Gain series.
Yeah.
Must be another interesting topic. Thank you so much.
Now we should have a physical meeting.
That's also going to happen. Yeah. A one-to-one conclave will happen, of course, that'll be physical, but the rest, the Learn and Gain will be online.
So please put your comments on the main chat, BNI main chat of this thing, so that we will.
So that
Thank
we
you
get
so much.
momentum.
All the best. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.